Our immune system is that system in our bodies that is designed to protect us from diseases. Failure or dysfunction of our immune system can result in infections, which can be viral, bacterial, fungal, or parasitic in origin. Similarly, a less than optimally functional immune system makes one more vulnerable to malignancies, allergies, and autoimmune conditions. More and more medical researchers and practitioners of various disciplines are recognizing the importance of immune system health and are searching for natural, safe ways to enhance the immune response. We put great stress on our immune system's ability to protect us in the following ways: lack of exercise, obesity through poor nutritional habits, the misuse and overuse of prescription and over-the-counter drugs, excessive alcohol ingestion, the use of illicit drugs, smoking, environmental exposures such as pollution, food allergies, hormonal imbalances, genetic influences, and predispositions. For the last few decades, we have felt that science could discover methods for us to have protection against or beneficial intervention against disease processes despite the stresses that we impose upon our immune systems. Recently, however, we've learned that the infectious agents, especially viruses and bacteria, have become more virulent or deadly, and that in many instances we're reaching a state where once easily treated germs such as staph and E. coli are becoming resistant to even the most aggressive antibiotic regimens, and the threats of new dangerous viral illnesses such as SARS, West Nile, and Ebola are becoming more likely to erupt into full-blown epidemics with each passing day. Autoimmune diseases such as lupus, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis, to name just a few, are increasing to the point that we all know someone with an autoimmune disease. Allergies and hypersensitivities are rampant, with an especially alarming increase in childhood asthma worldwide. Newly discovered knowledge is now linking many common and serious diseases to infection and inflammation, again, immune system failures. Atherosclerosis, which causes heart attacks, most strokes, and blockages of arterial blood flow to the lower extremities, called peripheral vascular disease, is now recognized as having an immune system component as its cause. The same is true of Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and ulcers. The pathogens which are implicated in these disease processes are common viruses such as herpes simplex 1 and 2, which cause cold sores and genital lesions, cytomegalovirus, which is one cause of mononucleosis, and common bacteria such as H. pylori, which causes ulcers, Chlamydia pneumoniae, which causes respiratory infections, and the microorganisms associated with gum diseases such as gingivitis. Immune system health can be optimized by lifestyle changes which reverse or minimize the previously mentioned stresses on immune health. We can exercise. We can lose weight through wise nutritional choices. We can never smoke, or stop if we do. We can avoid the misuse of legitimate drugs and totally avoid illicit drugs. We can drink moderately, if at all. Hormonal imbalances can be addressed, and genetically influenced conditions can sometimes similarly be at least lessened through early recognition. The effects of pollution can be diminished by the choice of the water we drink, the filtering of the air we breathe, and by the increase of the ingestion of more organic foods into our diets. And we can be tested for food allergies, if such allergies are suspected, and avoid those foods that provoke allergic reactions. But despite all our proactive measures, most people, despite their best efforts, will still have a degree of immune system failure, which will make them more susceptible to diseases, which could more likely be prevented if one were experiencing optimal immune system health. So let's get an overview of our body's natural defense, our immune system, so that we can later discuss natural products which we can consume in order to give ourselves the best chance of living a long and healthy life. Our immune system can be thought of as being composed of layers of protection, with the first barrier to the entry of pathogens or germs being our skin. Next in the defensive layers is the tears of our eyes, the mucus of our respiratory tract, the acid in our digestive tract, anything that inhibits entry into our bodies. And if entry is obtained, we have fighters that immediately go into action. Consider what happens when you get a splinter in your finger. The penetration of the non-sterile foreign object introduces germs, and an immediate reaction occurs. Protective immune system cells come racing in to limit the damage. They attract other cells called mast cells that secrete chemical mediators that produce fluid. And then, in this environment, the first-line defensive cells called macrophages, which means large eaters, and other scavenger cells, begin to literally ingest the germs. And the area becomes somewhat warm and inflamed, appearing perhaps with a red streak, which represents the inflammatory response. And pus develops, which represents the battlefield where the germs were attacked. And removal of the pus pocket clears the battlefield of the ravages of the battle which has been going on. And other than feeling a little discomfort, you're blissfully unaware of the fierceness of the battle which has taken place. But what if that front-line battle had been lost? What if the germs that the splinter introduced had escaped and gotten further into your body? Other immune cells now join the fight because the macrophages seek help. They carry bits of the germs they have eaten to cells called B lymphocytes, and the B lymphocytes produce antibodies, which are specific for the identity of the germ that the macrophage has brought to them. These antibodies trigger other lymphocytes called T lymphocytes to get involved, and they go directly to the germs and lock onto them and kill them. Meanwhile, the B cells are continuing to produce antibodies that seek out remaining germs, and these antibodies float through the body like a bullet aimed at a specific target. And when they find the target germ, the antibody locks onto the germ and kills it. And when the immune system is reacting properly and is healthy and vital, it's like a symphony orchestra which is in harmony and producing beautiful music. But when the immune system is in disarray, the results are less than optimal, and we find ourselves vulnerable to disease. But it doesn't have to be that way, because now we've discovered natural, safe ingredients that we can consume which can educate and vitalize our immune system, and which can help us stay out of harm's way.